Hey friend, welcome back to Cam Gorilla. My name's Trent, and today I'm going to show you 3 simple ways to make Swedish torches, or also known as rocket stoves or Canadian candles. To start with, cut yourself a few rounds of about 1 foot diameter, 1.5 foot long logs. The first way I'm going to show you is probably the simplest. All you need is an axe. So I'm going to start by chopping this into chunks. There we go, right on center. Let's see if this will work. There we go. Wow, that went easy. Perfect. So the next step is to flip the log upside down. So the opposite end that you chopped it on is now at the top. So it would have been flipped around the other way when I was chopping it. So I'm going to press them together so they fit like when the log was together. And then you take a piece of wire and you wrap it around about 4 inches up from the bottom, like that, and then just give it some twists. Before it gets too tight, what you want to do is flip it back over again and spread it out a bit. What you do here is just take some pebbles, throw them down in the cracks to keep the cracks open. And then I'll just finish tightening up the cable here. Here's what it looks like from the top. The second way is to cut a crisscross star pattern down from the top of the log. It's good to gather up a bit of that sawdust as fire starter. We'll soak that in kerosene. It'll be good fire starter. There you can see the nice star pattern. And the third way to create a Swedish torch is with a huge auger like this. So this is an 1.5 inch auger. You can see the end there has a little screw thread. And that's what screws into the wood and drags the rest of the auger through. These augers are meant to cut cross grain and not on the end grain. So what sometimes happens is that this screw turns, but it doesn't bite and it just twists and it's not pulling the rest of the auger through. And these threads get filled up with swarf, basically. It's just wood chunks and sawdust. And the thread doesn't bite anymore. And so you're left with this cone at the end that's not doing anything except keeping your borer from going any further because it's not digging anymore. So what some people do is actually cut that thing off. The other thing you can do is you can bore a hole the size of the threaded piece here, bore a hole down the middle so that the threaded piece doesn't bite, but it also doesn't get stuck full of wood and stop biting. And that way, just the pressure from pushing down on it is what's going to keep the borer cutting through. What I found, though, is that you put it on the ground and you keep enough pressure on it so that your pressure plus the biting of the threaded end there keeps pulling it down. So far, so good on that method. There we go. So I'll just put the borer right in the middle of the log. We're going to keep it vertical and go straight down as much as we can. All right, here we go. Sometimes this drill will really want to twist, so you got to make sure you're following the hole down exactly at the same angle that you started. If you push it to the side and move it, this borer will catch on the outside of the hole and twist this drill into you. So we're about at this level on the borer. Let's see how deep that is. Yeah, so we're down to about there, which is where we want to be.
The next thing you need to do is bore a hole in from the side that meets the bottom of the hole that you bored down from the top.
So I've got all three candidates lined up here. That's the one with the chainsaw, the one that's been bored with a drill, and the one that's been simply split and then wired together at the bottom. So to light them up, what I'm going to do is soak some of the sawdust and wood chips that I've produced with some barbecue lighter fluid. You could use diesel or kerosene or lamp oil if you want, like that tiki torch oil, citronella. And then for each one of these, I'm also going to squirt just a little bit right down the center. Same with this one. And this one. On this one here, I'll also squirt just a little bit down the side hole here. This one here, you don't want to stuff too full, otherwise the air won't flow through, so I'm just going to put a little bit in there. And this one here, you want to use sort of the finer stuff, otherwise it won't fall down into there. There's still a bit of flames coming off the top here, but there's flames coming up from the inside now too, so that's a good sign. The chainsaw one is burning super well. The split one is doing okay, but a couple more splits probably would have made it burn a little stronger. And the one that's bored out is slowly starting to build its flame now. There we go. And now the one that was cut with the chainsaw has already burnt itself out. Burns a lot faster than the rest. The one that was split is still burning. Still got a fair bit left. And the one that was bored in the middle there, that one's got a lot of life left. But it burns very slowly as well. Well, the split one has fallen apart. The wire melted from the heat. So note to self, don't use aluminum wire, just use steel wire. The one with the borehole is still working nicely. And this one's just embers now. What you could do though is you could throw some sticks and twigs and stuff in there to keep the fire going.
You'll notice that I ended up boring 2 holes into the bottom of this one. I found that it works better for airflow, especially when there's a breeze blowing. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little project. I had a lot of fun making that. And I also hope that you get out there and make some of your own Swedish torches. They're great to have when you're out camping and also for garden parties, and they're so easy to make. And if you like this one, there's another video I've got that shows you how to make a little camping stove out of beer cans. And if you enjoyed this, just take a moment, hit that like button. It makes a big difference. So I'll see you next time, and remember, keep creating, because someone's going to love it.